السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته كلنتي وناسن داوديال meel walbo aad joogtaan si walba noo daawanaysaan kuna soo dhawaada barnaamijka doorka aqoonyahanka oo toddobaadkiiba haadahan oo kala aad uga barateen telefishinka caalamiga ee Somali Channel barnaamijka daawadayaal toddobaadkan waxaynu ku soo qaadan doonaa seminar dhawaan lagu qabtay jaamacadda Al-Madina International University ee wadanka Malaysia kaas oo looga hadlayay habka maamulka waqtiga ama time management seminarkan waxa baraka ahaa أستاذ عبد القادر محمد عثمان عبد البقر وكمل معلمين توقف وين وحكى جامعة المدينة يدون كسو قيب قلين جودهان أرضي وحكبرت جامعة المدينة والسوجر الصومالية جانب هذا بجودهان برنامج كاري ما سينوجه هذا للدونا يسمينار كقاب وقب صومي تدوينه كسو قيب قلسيد وقف فائدتين يدون السمينار كانوا وقب حدون اللغة إنجليش هذا بدعوة ديانا لا دعوة السمينار إنه قد بيسوق
الله first official public talk we are having in the university. I'm glad that the first topic the management chose is time management, and I hope at the end of this we will learn from each other, inshallah ta'ala. It's a very interesting topic, it's a very important topic, it's a life-changing topic, and if you are well prepared and you give me your attention, at the end of the day you will feel that you have gained something and did not lose your time by coming here today, inshallah ta'ala. To start with, I will request everybody to either switch off or make it silent, and I'll start with myself. They call it leadership by example. Alright, please let us make it on silent so that it will not disturb us while we are doing it. A little bit even odd if your mobile rings while you are doing. Okay. To the techniques or tips of really managing your time effectively, both in the academic sense as a student, university level, or in your life in general. All right. If you are smart enough and you came with a diary or notebook, it will help you a lot. But otherwise, I don't know. Maybe some of the students' minds are like multiple giga computers, so they can just store it there, no problem with the writing. All right? Okay. The first quote that I would like to start with is the famous quote given by Malcolm X. Anybody who knows what Malcolm X was? Yeah. For those of you who really don't know, he's a very famous civil rights leader in America, and what he says is the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. In everything, life starts with planning. All right? If you really, there is another very famous quote that we have in marketing, and it says, if you don't know where you are going, any road you get will take you there. If you don't know that you are going to KL, for example, all right, and you don't know the specific road that you have to take and which pass that you have to go, unless you have your own private car, you say, okay, let's go to U80 and U602 and so on, right? Knowing the objective or the destination where you are going, the destination, the objective, the goal, will help you decide which road to take and which mechanism or vehicle. All right? Okay. The first important thing then is to have an objective in time management. All right, where it's about your academic, where it's about your overall life in general, and that future belongs to those who prepare for it today. What I would like to be, what will be my interest, which is specialization, and in life before I go to the grave, what I want it to be, what I want to accomplish. All right. The next quote that I would like to go through is the famous one that says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All right. Some people just live like animals, just eat, sleep, and someday maybe get married and have children and then die, finish. No history, nobody knows anything about you, and you have never contributed anything to the mankind. All right. So your existence is just existence of an animal. All right. But once you are a human being, a productive element in the society, then you will have something to contribute. All right, what I want to do, what I would like to contribute, and what I would like to achieve, and that cannot come unless you plan it. All right, it says if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, now the way I have structured the topic and the slides is, before I start the topic, I will start with a quoting. All right, time value quotes, right? Very famous, said by prominent people, very famous people. All right, so that you will at least get the sense of the importance of time. The first one, it says, time is the most precious thing in life. It influences every single moment and everything we do. To manage time is to manage life. All right, there is another Arabic poetry that says, دقات قلب المرء قائلة له إن الحياة دقائق وثوان. All right, life is all about seconds. It's all about minutes. All right, and your heartbeat, when it says boom boom, it tells you it's all about the seconds. Now I said boom, the next time I might not say finish, and you're gone. All right, and if you really feel in the sense of what it really means, that is all about those seconds of the heartbeat, then you won't waste it. Now let's go together and Facebook for the whole night and sleep the next day, right? Let's kill time, they say, all right? Which means killing your life, simply, all right? The next quote says, time nor tide wait for no man. It has got different ways of saying it, different quotes, but this is the authentic one. Okay, it says time is the most valuable thing a man can spend. All right, people think it's about money, but it's the time. All right, so okay. Now let's go to the definition of what time management is all about, since that is the topic. All right, the natural way and the most effective way is first to start with the definition. All right, once you get the definition of a subject, then you get the concept. Without the definition of the whole thing, maybe it's the course, then you'll just be swimming around without getting anything at all. Okay, so what is time management? Before we go to the tips and techniques and ways of really doing it, of managing our time, what is actually time management? All right, time management, it says, is the act or the process of planning and exercising conscious control over the amount of time spent on specific activities. Meaning, it's the steps, it's the process, it's the procedure, it's the planning activities that we take so that we will be in charge of how many minutes we spend on a specific activity. All right, saying that, okay, this is my time and this is how I will do it. This is how many hours I will give to that specific activities, which means having what to do and having the time or the limited time, specific time that you decide to spend on it. All right, it says it's managing our time to waste less time on doing the things we have to do so that we will have more time to do for things that we would like or that we want to do. In sense, being in charge, being in control of your time and how much you will spend on what. That's the most important thing. Okay, when we talk about the time management, we are actually talking about certain things. First is the goal setting. All right, what is my goal in academics? All right, is it just to throw books and just pick up when the time, when the exam comes, whether it's a midterm or a final, and I will read maybe for 2, 3 or 5 minutes, memorize and scrap everything, and forget when the exam is over. So my whole aim was studying for the exam and forget everything after the exam. So when I leave the university, I will forget everything. All right, at least I've achieved my objective, which was just passing the exam. Okay, I did it. But once I go out and maybe search a job interview, all right, they'll ask me about questions about what do you know about human resource management, organizational behavior, marketing theory and practice, all right? And then I'll say I studied, I know, all right, but I really don't remember. All right, or maybe tomorrow they will say, okay, you've graduated from that and that university in that field, and we would like to appoint you like a lecturer, for example, and would like you to teach accounting and finance and what those numbers, I hate them. All right? It's about the goal setting then, it's about the objective. If what you are studying is for future, for gaining a real knowledge, studying for examination will be just not the end, it will be the means to achieve it. There is an end and there is the means, all right? What you would like to accomplish and how would you like to accomplish, all right? So exam is just the vehicle that might take you to finishing the degree, but it's not the objective, it's not the end. The end is really gaining a real knowledge. There was a story when I finished in my secondary, and I shared this with my students, I believe, before, and I wanted to go abroad for my higher studies. And I really, I had business administration in mind, but I really did not know specifically which field I will go. All right, because it itself, in business administration, it has got different fields, right? And majors. So there was a high-profile professor of relative of mine. I went to him and I said, look, since as you are more experienced than I am, since you have been in academic field for quite some time, I really need your advice. All right, which specific field would you like to recommend me to go to? So I was expecting for him to say, okay, you go for this field, that is maybe if you go in that field, it will be more lucrative and you'll earn a lot of money, you'll be rich and so on. The mentality of secondary graduate, right? He said, no matter what you study, make sure that you study correctly, that's all. No matter what you study. You might go to any field you like, but the most important thing is that you get the real knowledge. And that really changed my life and my concept about academics. There is no specific field where it's more lucrative, fixed that way, and if that is real, then everybody would have gone in that field, right? But what makes the difference is some people will study for different reasons. Okay, my father will check my marks, so I just have to concentrate on the exam, or just I have to pass it. All right. But for others, it will be for knowledge, for reality, for future, and all of that. All right. So the first one about time management is goal setting. All right. What do you want to do? Forget about the long-term one for your whole life. Even for one day, for today, when I wake up, or before I go to bed at night, I have to plan what I would like to accomplish tomorrow. All right, what I have to accomplish tomorrow. Goal setting. The second one is the planning and prioritizing priorities of the activities that you would like to do. There are a couple of things that I would like to do, 1 to 5, 10, whatever it is, but all of them are not the same. Some are very, very important, and some are maybe normal, and others might not be that important. All right? Which one comes first, which one is given the most important time is extremely important, so that you will use your time effectively. That's what they call it, the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. The third one is what we call decision making. I normally talk about 4 skills that every human being should have, all right, in professional life. We say, anybody who remembers from my students, the 4 skills that every human being should have?
Communication skills.
Huh?
Communication skills.
Okay, communication skills. The 4 common and most important skills that every human being should have, number 1 is what we call observational skills. Observational skills, somebody who can really understand what is going on. All right? In the normal life, there are people that will give you a lot of information about what is happening. You know, this is what is happening. This is the election in Malaysia and how it's happening and the competition. There are people that just eat and sleep and go and have no idea what is going on here and there. All right? Ability to observe what is going on around you. All right? So that you can take advantage of the opportunities that are there and can protect yourself for the threats that might be there. Right? Observational skills. The second one is analytical skills. All right? You can analyze. What are the pros, what are the cons? All right? Filter it. The third one is judgmental skills. Ahmad Lawal, thank you. Judgmental skills, decision to say, okay, this is wrong and this is right. All right. And the last one is decision-making skills. 4. I repeat what I said. Observational skills, analytical skills, judgmental skills, and decision-making skills. All right. Well, I know this is good for me, but really, I really cannot do it. I know smoking is very bad. It hurts, right? It destroys my health. It has got lung cancer. It's written there. In Malaysia, it's much worse. You know, in other countries, they put just, you know, smoking causes cancer. In Malaysia, it's much worse. The whole picture is there, all right, of the lungs that are destroyed and all of that. I really see this, but, you know, I cannot stop it. Lack of decision-making skills, all right? It's very bad. I know it. I stop it. Done, all right? And so on. And the last one is delegation skills. Sometimes there are a lot of things that you like to do, but you cannot do them all. A lot of things that you like to do, all right? But you cannot do all of them. You're just a human being, all right? Delegation, by definition, is giving some of your power and activities to people that you trust and are competent enough, all right? Delegation, decentralization, what we call it. Participation of leadership. You say, okay, we have a lot of things to do. Let us cooperate. Let's work like a team. I do this part, and you do this part. You understand what I mean? So that you will not say, okay, I will do everything, and the whole day you will, all right, be in trouble, stress it out, burn out, and at the end of the day, you will not do a lot of things that you could have done all, or maybe you could have done it better. All right? So delegation is saying, okay, I cannot do everything. So in order to accomplish what we want, this is the part that I will do, maybe the most important part, and this part I will give to someone else. All right, my friend, my classmate, my teammate, my co-worker, my subordinate, whatever you call it. All right, so that they will help you out. These are, when we talk about in general sense of time management, these are what we are talking about. All right. There's another quote. As I said, when we finish a small portion of the topic, we'll have quotes, right? Okay. It says, time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you have lost it, you can never get it back. The second quote says, a man who dares to waste 1 hour of his life has not discovered the value of life. And the third one says, better 3 hours too soon than 1 minute too late. The importance of in student life, punctuality, what we call a regularity. You understand the difference between, right? Punctual student and regular student. Punctuality meaning somebody who comes on time, and regularity meaning somebody who comes all the time. All right? I couldn't come for the last week. Why? Because I really do not have the transportation cost. All right? That's very common stories that we lecturers really hear. I know it. All right? And so on. Okay. Now, let us talk about the importance of time. All right? The importance of time. You know, if you go through the Quran, the Holy Quran, there are so many verses and surahs that talks about the importance of time. All right? Allah is the greatest, and when He swears on something, it shows importance of that thing, right? When Allah says wal asr, is a time, right? When He says wash-shams, wal layl, all right? You just talk about that, so many and so many. And when Allah is swearing on those, it really reflects and tells the importance of time. The importance of time. And what our whole life is all about time, right? Few years, if you don't die, you will get old, aging. All right. Even if you don't die, even if you don't reach, for example, old enough, you might simply die. So the clock is ticking, whether you use your time or not. All right. Okay. Let's make it simple and just categorize it into different ways, so that maybe its understanding will be much more simpler and easier. All right. Let's take a hypothetical example and say you have got $86,400 in your bank, in a bank account you have in a bank, and you get it every morning when you wake up. How many? $86,400. It's not yours. The bank gives it to you for free. You don't have to work for it. All right? And you have it in the morning. But there is one condition that says if you don't use it, all of it, when you go to bed, the bank will withdraw it, will take it back. All right? It's like losing, for example, it's $7,400 where you are told just use it, take it and use it. And the price you will pay is you will lose it if you don't use it. Each day, we are blessed to have those 86,400 minutes each day. And we wake up in the morning with that. You know, why do we make it money? Because when you say 86,000 US dollars, oh my God, it's a lot of money, good. Every day, people will get the real sense of what it actually really means. That's why we make it money. Money is devil, they call it. All right? People will understand it. Yeah, now it touches me deeply. I know it. All right? Especially people who are in different financial situations. In student life, we can understand it, what it really means. All right? If you don't use it, those 86,400 minutes per day, that day, and you go to sleep, it's like the money that the banker will withdraw, because that time is gone and it will never come back. It's part of your life, real life, that is gone, that will never come back. And if you really don't use it, it's like that amount of money that you got in the bank and was taken back, that you will not be given again for life. Very painful, right? So these are the questions then that you have to ask yourself. Are you use it to wasting seconds and minutes and hours and weeks and months and years of your life? Do you think you have a lot more left, which we don't know? We don't know how much the time is left. Maybe I will do it tomorrow, we can just plan it, but we never know that the Malakul Maut is on the way. All right? We don't know for sure how long we will live. Everybody knows it. All right? Okay? And while we really don't know how long we will live, we are daring enough of actually wasting it. That's the most painful part. All right? Okay. It says time is really extremely important in our life. It may also be viewed in a more philosophical sense, because time presents special milestones, including for some, for example, why I say for some, because there are things that we don't celebrate in the Islamic world, right? Like birthdays, right? Okay, anniversaries and the births of children. This is very important, all right? And the passing of time escapes no one. Time is really going whether we use it or not, and for all of us, it does not differentiate, all right? And we are all to face one day the aging problem. Yesterday I was very strong, I was very healthy, energetic. Today I cannot walk. All right? It will happen for sure if you are lucky enough to live that age. All right? Or mortality, meaning death. All right? Now let me give you the hint of the importance of time. All right? If you want to understand the importance of time, the oath of Allah is enough for it. When He says wal asr wa shams, that is more than enough. All right? Just to simplify it more, to make it in our real life, so that we, when we make familiar examples, people will understand it better. They can relate it more. All right, and so on. Okay. It says to understand the importance of 1 year, ask a college student who failed a class. We're talking about universities that take students on annual basis. All right. But in our universities and universities like that, you say, ask a student who failed a semester. All right. 4 months to wait. All right, although you paid the money, and maybe you'll have some repercussions about scholarships and all of that as well. All right, so okay. Second, it says to understand the importance of 1 month, ask a mother who gave birth to a premature baby. Right, it's just 1 month before that, it was 8 months, and that is gone. although she carried, that long. Ask her the importance of what really 1 month is by losing the baby that she carried for that long. All right? She will tell you the importance of a month. It says, in order to understand the importance of 1 week, ask a manager of a weekly newspaper. All right? Bringing all the articles and different kind of publications, squeezing them, rectifying them, editing them, making them in proper arrangement, publishing them and processing them, making sure that everything comes with quality and all of that. That 1 week, that manager of the weekly newspaper understands exactly what the value it has. All right? So it says to understand the importance of an hour, ask a married couple who are waiting to meet the first time. And actually, it was different from this. Right? When I was writing, it was not about marrying. It was about dating. So I actually changed it to make it more suitable for our environment. We're Al Medina, right? So I changed it. I make it, marrying. Okay, because it's something good. It's Islamic marrying, right? We're not talking about something else. Okay. It says to understand the importance of 1 minute, ask someone who just missed a train. Right? Or you are there standing or you are running, and it says khalas, it's gone. Right? The importance of really what 1 minute really means. I know why people are laughing, because a lot of people miss the LRTs, right? Okay. It says to understand the importance of 1 second, ask a person who just avoided accident in a split of second. The whole train or 2 buses. All right. What is really very important for my academics, for my health, for my reputation and image. All right. And for my family, what's really very important, or maybe even for my religion and for my akhirah, right? And so on. Okay. Which one is more important? Priorities. The second one. All right. The third one is to really learn how to say no. Sometimes people will, people who might be losers, people who might be lazy, people who might be irresponsible, will try to use you and your time if they can. Really, I don't have it. Can you do this assignment? In the student life, it's very important. We come together. There's a group assignment. I would like to enjoy my life and chill, but I know there is one serious guy or one serious girl. I really, can you do all of that? And you just give me very small portion I can present. All right, so that person I know, even they know that I'm a lazy, that I can compromise about the few marks, right? But I know that they cannot. So I will say, if you don't want to do it, forget about it. I don't want to do it. I can. Since they are very serious and I know they are serious, they will do it, and they will do it for me. At the end, then they will give me the small portion that I have to present. Marks gain, everything. Alaikum salam. Marks gain and everything done. All right. But having the skills of saying no will improve your life, will reduce your stress, depression, time pressure, feeling, uneasiness. All of that will be removed. If I can do, I will say yes, I can do, and I'll do it for you. If I don't have time for that, I will tell you on your face, big no. I can't do it. All right. Some people will be a little bit more harsher by saying no, and some people will be, more diplomatic, using the words and statements. But the bottom line has to be very clear signal. You should not say, I'll see it, or I will try. Giving a hint that you might do it, so that the person will say, since he did not say no, I know he did not say yes, but he also did not say no. So he said, I will see it, I will try it, which means there is a chance of him doing the thing. And if you don't do it tomorrow, he will come and say, you are a very bad human being. You said, I will try, but you did not do anything. I was really relying on you. I missed this kind of marks. In the beginning, if I tell you no and no means I won't do it, period and full stop, then you won't rely on me. You'll say, okay, this guy, maybe you'll say he's horrible or something, but you won't blame me if you don't do your task, because I give you a very clear signal. But sometimes saying no, it's not really easy. It's really very difficult. Somebody that you trust, somebody that you respect, somebody that you care will say, can you do it? And you cannot do it. But saying no is not easy. So you say, I'll try. Although you know for sure that you cannot do it. You don't have time for it. But to that person, it will be very difficult. We face this, you know, in as lectures. A student who is very lazy, who is irresponsible, who is never on time, who is never regular, who is always complaining, when he comes to me and says, you know, can you extend the forum? For me, it's very easy. I'll say big no. Very easy. The problem is when you told everybody that you won't reopen anything, and we know very nice student who's regular, punctual, hardworking, responsible, and all of that comes to you, and this is the first time that he, you know, that he didn't do his duty on time, and he comes to you and he says, you know, I'm regular, you know, I'm punctual, I'm like this and this, and you know it, yeah, he's a sincere student. But this is the first time that I really made a mistake, and I really need you, if you can. Now the lecture is on a corner now. You tell everybody that you won't reopen, you won't do it, and to be fair, then that has to be the principal. If a loser comes to you, it's very easy. You'll say, go to hell, bro. No, I won't do anything for you. But when that student comes to you, if you try to help, then you will be the one who don't have the skill of saying no. You won't be fair to your students. Right? Favorism, you understand? And if you say, no, this is the principle, it's fair, I say no, means no, on the other hand you will say, this student was really very nice. Hard worker, responsible. He really deserves another chance. Now you're on the dilemma. The recommended one, say big no. All right, no matter what. All right, and so on. And sometimes saying no might save your life. Saying no might save. Now, can I stay in your house just tonight? Drug trafficker, drug dealer. No, stuffed with a lot of cocaine and marijuana and all of that, and hashish and all of that. The police was after him, and they came, they raided. You and him are together in the house. Busted with the drugs. Life sentence. Or maybe in Malaysia, if it's more than 1 kg, it is killing. If I could have said, I really didn't know, if I could have said no, it could have saved my life. All right? Very important skill. And the last one, it says, it's the word unblock. It's a skill that we really need to have while dealing with technologies specifically. All right? Sometimes you go, which really means when you are in a certain situation, sometimes you have to have the courage and the skill of making yourself unreachable. I go to a conference, or to a meeting, or to a class, I have to concentrate on that meeting and in that class. I have to make my mobiles on silent and make sure that I give my time there. All right? Somebody comes and starts talking while I'm concentrating on the lecture. Somebody calls me, and in meetings, you see those kind of unprofessional behaviors. Mobile is ring, inside the meeting, and it distracts everything, and it makes people look on that person in a very, ugly way. And worse, sometimes people will pick up the phone in the meeting and will say, I'm in a meeting, I cannot talk to you. You are already busted everything and destroyed your image. All right? I can simply make it silent, no matter what it is. I finish, I come out, I check my mobile, I call you back. Sorry, I was in a meeting. Reasonable, I'm not lying. I'm telling you something true, logical, and person will accept. And I protected my image. That's why in every semester before I start my class, I say, this is my principle. And I start with myself. It's not about لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ, right? I don't say something and I don't pick up. I never pick up my mobile inside a class, never. I'm teaching here for 3 years now almost. I don't do it. And my students really know that. No matter how urgent it is, it might come from parents back home, I don't do it. So if I'm not doing it, it's very easy when I say to you, don't do it, you don't do it, right? Fair. You'll say, he's not doing it, so it's fine to do it. But unfortunately, sometimes, no matter how many times you tell, in the beginning, before I start, I said, okay, please keep your mobile on silent, and it was ringing somewhere, huh? It happens. But it's really very important. That unblocking is professionally the best way to do. All right, the best way to do. Learn it. The fifth one is take time off. All right, you concentrate on studies, you have 4 hours, 5 hours on daily basis, you read it, okay, it's five days a week. But as a human being, you need to relax sometimes. All right, I'll read the whole day, and the whole night I'll be chatting on Twitter and Facebook and watching YouTubes and all of that. That will not make you productive. It will not make you productive. All right, it will not make you effective and efficient. The most important thing is you say, okay, this is the time I read, and this is the time I rest. All right, after 10 p.m. for example, I'm gone. Or I exercise, for example, swim, so on, so on. Meaning, give time to yourself. Give time to yourself so that you'll be re-energized. If you get enough sleep, tomorrow you'll be very active. And if you don't, then you will sleep in the class. All right? And different lectures have got their different ways of dealing with those people. Right? Normally, when I see a student sleeping, I tell him, okay, wake up, go and refresh yourself. To little bit show that, students will look at him like, sleeping in the class. That is more than enough for that person, right? And the person to go, refresh, and come back, it makes some kind of punishment for that. All right? Or sometimes ask him a question, tell me what we were talking about. And then he says, what? That's the best thing to shock. All right, the next time he won't sleep because he knows that you will shock him with a question, and the students will laugh on that person, embarrassed. Right, Nassan? Okay. Now, this is the last portion in which we will conclude with. All right, inshallah ta'ala. It says 9 easy ways to organize your life. All right, in general. The first one is to have notables, what we call it, notebooks, diaries, a pen, all the time. And as a student, when people ask you for a pen or a diary or a pencil and you don't have it, it's a little bit awkward. Sometimes you remember things that are really very important, and it's much better if you have your note and the pen instead of asking anybody. All right, and so on. Because there are a lot of things that you might like, ideas that might come to you. All right, having it is really very important so that you will note it down. All right. The second one is, this is for the professional people. In we're working, sometimes we spend a lot of time on telephone calls. All right. When it will help you in the future to know this and practice it. It simply tells that you tell the person how many minutes you have. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. Who's that? This is okay. I just got 5 minutes. Okay. The person will feel that you have that 5 minutes and will condense whatever they wanted to tell you, utilize their time, and will save your time. And the person will not feel embarrassed if you say, okay, now ma'asalam. There's a friend we have in the university. When we talk on the phone, he will call you, he will tell you whatever he wants to tell in maybe whatever, 5 minutes, whatever it is. And at the end, while you are waiting maybe him to say something, you'll say, Assalamu alaikum. That means when he says, Assalamu alaikum, say like me, okay, go off the line now. All right, and so on. Okay. The third one is while we are in waiting, in the buses, waiting a dentist, waiting an interview, there are times that we are waiting something, all right, and we're sitting somewhere else. Utilize it, use it for planning, all right, jot it down and all of that, okay. It will save your time and will make you utilize your time more effectively. The fourth one is get help from people, and when you find they have done something that you really like, that you really notice that they have done something good for you, don't forget to thank them. And there are people that no matter what you do for them, they will keep blaming you. You were doing something, you are trying to help, maybe you have done 80% good, 20% you mess it up, and the person will not see the 80%, will see the 20%. You should not have done it this way. Come on, I have done 80% in a very good way. You should have at least say, oh, thanks for the 80%, and 20% it could have done it that way. But first start with the thanking, all right? Because tomorrow, if you see only the 20% that I messed it up, tomorrow when you ask me to help you, I will say he will see the 20. So why will I do it? Ma'asalama, I'll do nothing for you at all. All right, and so on. The fourth one is what we call procrastination. All right, delaying something day after day, time after time, right? I have enough time to read, I have enough time to do my assignments and forums and quizzes, all right? And normally at the end of the last minute, teacher, it was written, BM and not AM. He's waiting the last second. It was BM and not AM. I thought it was going to close on 20, but it closed on 19. But why will you wait the last second? Why don't you do it once the teachers open? Why don't you do it? All right. I really tried to do it one day before it, but there was a technical problem. It's another technique of convincing lectures. All right. There was a technical error, and I couldn't submit it. The best thing to say to them, go to a technical department and let them prove that there was a technical error. Otherwise, deal done. I'm not going to open it. All right. So don't delay. That's the most important thing. All right. Don't put till tomorrow what you can do today. All right. Okay. Delegation, we discussed it about. The leisure time that we discussed it about before. All right. Delegation of authority, tasks that you cannot do it. So one human being, and it's really very important. It will prepare you for your professional life. We normally know organizations are divided into two. One is more centralized, and another one is decentralized. The reason why most of the people cannot delegate is they are power thirsty. Right? I don't trust my team. I don't trust anybody. I have to do everything by myself. And you cannot do everything for yourself. So if you can get help, it will really ease up your tension and stress. It will give you time to think. It will give you time to plan. It will make you somebody who is in charge, because the people have taken the word management. Forget about time management. The definition of management, it is doing things through people. All right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Managing the thing is not doing everything by yourself. It's not management. Management is doing things or getting things done through people. So if you have the ability to delegate, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this you do this, and you are able to follow up, then you are a real manager. But if you want to say, I will do everything by myself, you are not a manager at all. All right, delegation. All right, delegation of authority. Leisure time, this is what we discussed about, is making sure that you have time to relax. Whether it's about sleeping, whether it's about jogging, it's about exercising, going to gym. Having time to spend on yourself is really very important in terms of exercise, because we know that health is what? Is wealth. All right, health is wealth. They say in Arabic, الصحة تاج على رؤوس الأصحاء.
waxaan filayaa in aad uga faa'iideen seminaarkan oo ku baxay luqadda Ingiriiska isla markaasina looga hadlayay arrimaha maamulka ama habka loo maamulo waqtiga ama time management. waxaana baraka ahaa Ustaad Cabdiqaadir Maxamed Cuthmaan Cadi Boqor. hadaynu nahnay bahda Somali Channel qaybteeda Malaysia waxaa noo suurta gashay inaanu ka qayb galno seminaarka si dadweynaha Soomaaliyeed ee aqoonta u saaxiibka ah ay uga faa'iideystaan seminaarkii halkaas lagu qabtay. inteenu barnaamijkan oo kala dib hawada ugu kulmi doono waa Zahari bahda Somali Channel Malaysia oo idin dhahaya amaana Allah.